Let's go read story time. Without her, she's a stupid idiot butthead face. But let's go in here. We have 10 minutes to go, guys. Uh-oh, why is she in here? She has teleport hacks. Let us begin. Chapter 1. The Celestial Duo. Picture. Our story begins a very, very long time ago with a young girl. One day, this girl spotted a rusted spaceship holding a small star child. What's your name? Are you lost? The girl asked the star child.
I'm Luma, and I'm waiting for Mama. She's coming for me on a comet,
said the star child, who had been waiting day and night.
Pinky swear.
Don't worry, I'll wait with you, the little girl promised Luma.
I want to hug your telescope.
At nightfall, the little girl borrowed her father's telescope and peered into the sky. She looked and looked, but she saw nothing. Hours turned into days, and then years, but still the sky revealed nothing. Finally, the little girl sighed and said to Luma, "If we stay here looking much longer, I'll be an old lady soon." But then she had an idea. Why don't we go out there and find your mother ourselves?
We have a mushroom spaceship.
The girl and Luma fixed up the rusty spaceship, and then the two set sail into the starry sky. And this is how the search for the Celestial Mother began. Chapter 2, Starbits!
We still have mushroom spaceship.
Days passed with no sight of the comet, or even a single planet. Instead, asteroids extended for as far as the eye could see. If I had known it was going to take this long, I would have packed more jam, said the little girl, above the rumble of her belly.
Ooh, I would like a teapot. I want to eat the teapot.
Before they left, she had packed all the essentials: telescope, butterfly net, stuffed bunny, bread, milk, jam, and apricot-flavored tea. But...
what the crud is that?
I forgot to bring water. At this, Luma burst into gales of laughter, and the girl began to pout.
As long as I have Starbits, I'll be fine,
said Luma.
What's up?
The little girl couldn't stay mad after hearing this. Luma continued to laugh, and the girl couldn't help but join in.
Tee.
Alright, maybe just a nibble.
Oh, what is this?
Leaning far out of the ship, the pair began to collect starbits with the girl's net. They almost fell out a few times, but they kept on collecting. The starbits tasted like honey. Chapter 3, The Comet!
Oh my gosh, the mushroom spaceship's flying into the blue sun! We're gonna die!
A beam of light pierced through the ship's windows. Thinking it was the morning sun, the girl peered through the window, only to find a turquoise blue comet shimmering at her. The little girl shook the sleeping Luma awake and shouted excitedly, "We have to get that comet!"
We're walking on sunshine! Whoa!
The pair descended on the comet and found that it was made of ice. They looked high and low, but Luma's mother was nowhere to be found. Exhausted, the little girl sat down with a flop, utterly unable to take another step. Look!
The mushroom spaceship is on the moon!
Peering down at the icy ground where Luma was pointing, the girl suddenly noticed clusters of starbits encased in the ice.
Pretty good, huh? Finding starbits is my specialty,
said Luma, beaming.
There's ice here, but it's so warm. I bet there's water here too.
The two decided to stay on the comet for a while. Riding the turquoise comet, the pair continued their search for Luma's mother. Chapter 4, The Dream!
What the crud is that crud? Why is she blonde?
One night, the girl dreamed about her own mother. "Where are you going?" she asked her mother's retreating back. Without turning Her mother replied, "Ah!"
Why'd you say that? I don't even understand. That's not even English.
A wave of sadness washed over the girl. What about when it rains, and I can't see the sun or the moon? Her mother thought for a moment before responding, "Hello, I have earrings."
I can't understand you.
When she awoke, the girl's face was damp with tears.
You have starbits in your eyes,
Said Luma to the girl. Wiping her face, the girl replied, "These tears are not starbits. I'm crying because I'll never see my mother again." At this, Luma began to cry too. Then they hugged. For a long period of time, the pair traveled through the starry skies, and though they encountered many other comets, not one of them held Luma's mother. Luma was despondent.
Now, Luma, the rain clouds won't go away if you keep crying,
The girl said, giving Luma a squeeze.
I'll give you a present if you stop.
The girl closed her eyes and said gently, "I'll take care of you, and you'll like it." With these words, she felt a small spark in her heart, and a small tingle in her pants. Chapter 5. Home!
What the crud is that crud? Why do we build a brick house on the moon?
The kitchen will go here, and the library will go over there, the girl said busily to herself. We'll put the gate here. Ever since the girl took Luma under her care, she'd been bustling about at a feverish pace. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it to make a happy home. It turned out that starbits weren't the only things buried in the ice. There were tools and furniture, unlike any they had ever seen, and the girl used them to build a home.
What the crud? Why is there an infinite tunnel?
Looking at the completed house, Luma remarked,
Don't you think it's awfully big for just the two of us? Wink, wink. Trying to say we should make babies.
With a library, bedroom, kitchen, fountain, and gate, it was certainly spacious, but still something seemed to be missing. If only my father, brother, and mother were here, the girl said, wistfully. Indeed, the house is too large for its two small residents.
Okay, I'm just getting into some comfortable clothing. I'll be right there. Are you sure you want to do it outside? It's kind of weird.
That night, clutching her favorite stuffed bunny close to her heart, the girl fell asleep in the starship. Chapter 6. Friends!
What the crud? I'm drinking tea sideways!
Then, one day, while the girl sat sipping tea, a tiny apricot-colored planet appeared on the horizon.
The crud? Why is it orange?
From the planet, another Luma of the same color emerged.
Do you know each other?
The girl asked the two Lumas gleefully. Despite the girl's excitement, they seemed uneasy.
Ah! Don't touch me there!
The two Lumas neither drew closer nor backed away from each other. Instead, they just stared. Then one Luma broke the silence.
Ah!
And once the apricot Luma parroted back,
Ah! Ah! Ah!
the two Lumas began to dance around the girl frantically, and neither showed any sign of stopping. The girl was so charmed by this adorable scene that she couldn't help but laugh. And that's when something very strange happened. The baby-making plan was successful. Suddenly, more Lumas began to pop out from the apricot planet. They were different colors, but they all shouted the same thing.
Ah! Ah!
The sight of all the shouting Lumas only made the girl laugh harder. What am I going to do with all these children? The Lumas just stared blankly as she doubled over laughing. I guess we'll have to name each and every one of you. Tomorrow, once she had finished naming them all, she would begin moving all the Lumas into the new house. Chapter 7. The Telescope.
I'm holding a giant stick. It's my fun toy.
After seeing their 100th comet, a sudden thought popped into the girl's head. I wonder if my home planet is still as blue as it was. That's when she remembered her father's telescope.
What the crud? I can look into it.
Peeking into the telescope, a tiny blue dot floated into sight. It was smaller than a starbit. How strange, it's so far away, but it feels so close. What the crud? There's a tree! She twisted the knob of the telescope and the blue dot grew until she could make out a grassy hill dotted with flowers. It seemed very familiar to her. Zooming in even closer, a terrace on the hill came into view.
I used to go stargazing there when I lived on my home planet.
It is dark all of a sudden. She remembered rubbing the sleep out of her eyes as she followed her father up that hill to look at the stars.
It's snowing!
She remembered how she and her brother would sled down that hill.
It's windy! Yow!
She remembered having picnics with their mother on that hill on bright and windy days. And...
Ah!
I want to go home. I want to go home right now. The girl burst into tears and the Loomis didn't know what to do.
I want to go home. I want to go back to my house by the hill. I want to see my mother.
The girl was shouting now, her face wet with tears.
But I know she's not there. I know all along that she wasn't out there in the sky because...
It's now orange sky. Everything burns.
She's sleeping under the tree on the hill.
The girl's cries echoed through the stars and a hush fell over the area. Chapter 8, The Wish.
Oh my goodness, stop rubbing my back.
Though usually quite cheery, one day the girl became sad again. Luma drew close and tried to comfort her.
Ah! 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 Yeah! See? It's all good, bro!
A lonely look flickered across Luma's face, but it was soon replaced by a wide grin.
Ah! Ah! Ow! Owie! Ow!
With that, Luma, trailing bands of white, soared high into the sky and just as quickly started to plummet back down. Kabloom! Kablam! The ground shook and a bright light poured out of the crater that the Luma had created. The bands of light